Denny Blanco, my man, how you doing?
Your dreams have now been fulfilled. You are now rocking with the best. Like we always do at this time, it's in the game podcast. Randy J. Cruz, your boy, the NBA Whisperer, Denny Blanco. We are now here to provide you NBA news. Hello, welcome.
You can find Denny Blanco on both IG and Twitter at NBA_Whisperer. You can find myself on IG and Twitter at Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, the letter J CRUZ. Find the podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, also ballislife.com, as well as youtube.com/ballislife podcast network. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love to the program. Denny Blanco, we had no NBA games yesterday, but quite a few things to bring up. Games do resume today. We are still updating everybody on the Kyrie Irving situation. The only update that we have is that he did meet with Adam Silver yesterday. So we'll see what transpires from that overall meeting. The BK Nets have said, listen, Kyrie, if you do want to come back, you got to do X, Y, Z, W, H, and all that. So that's little demand list for him to come back. We'll see if he complies with that at all. Most on social media feel like he won't. That's too much. He might appeal. Even Jaylen Brown said that's a little bit too much, and it's a lot going on with the situation. But in that process, the Nets have been playing pretty good. I know Katie's been going bonkers, 30 plus, quite a few games, and they look different without Kyrie. Not saying they're better without Kyrie. Jack Vaughn's coaching, still no Udoka. We're also hearing they might be hearing some pushback on hiring Udoka. So there's a lot going on before we move on. Denny Blanco, you're the Net fan.
Why do you have to start it? Why you have to end it with you're the Nets fan?
You're a Net fan, like I know you might feel more emotional, more attached to the hip.
You want to make me angry. It's too early in the morning for that, but that's all right. I see what you're doing there. But see, audience, pay attention. Randy Slick, listen, pay attention. Slick talk. Let's start with Kyrie. When it happened, I stated that there's no such thing as freedom of speech. It's freedom of responsibility. You have responsibility when you say something in terms of the consequences. Now, here are the consequences based on what you said, Kyrie Irving. Here are the consequences. You have to do X, 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 X. And then folks are, I don't like that extra stuff he has to do. That's cool. You don't have to like it. He has to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for you to like. It's not for these other folks to like. You can't slap the principal and then say, you know what, I don't like the parameters of the punishment I'm about to receive. You have no choice in the matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear Kyrie had no choice in the matter. So, question is, will he do those things that are listed? I thought the sorry had to be verbal. Clearly, it doesn't have to be. It was print on IG. So that's one thing. And then he met with Adam Silver, and he's going to have to meet with some other folks and get some sensitivity training and this, that, and the third. Yeah. I do see him doing it. Doing all of
it?
Yes, I do see him doing all of it and come back, because if he doesn't, he's going to retire and never play in the NBA ever again. That's what he's looking at. That's what I think. Whether you disagree or agree with that statement, I think if he doesn't do this, he retires and he doesn't play in the NBA anymore. No one wants him. So you talk about.
I don't know about retire. Like let's just say he doesn't do it.
Well, he doesn't do it. He doesn't play for the Nets.
They'll just release him or trade him or something. He ain't retiring.
Well, he may not. He may want to still play ball. That's a good point, Randy. The next question would be is who wants them on their team? Who wants him on their team? That's the next question, but I'm not going to be able to answer that. Mm-hmm. The Nets, they look great.
Without Kyrie, they look great.
They look a great. Now, mind you, they just Steph Curry just came back on. Now that's not gonna, he's healthy, and Joe Harris
Oh,
is
Steph
starting to get
Curry, Steph.
Seth, not Wardell. Sorry, not
Yeah, not
Wardell,
Wardell.
not Wardell. Seth, right? Yeah, it's different. Wardell and Seth. So Seth, he's healthy. He's come back, and Joe Harris, which is obviously spread the floor and giving Kevin Durant some more room to operate. So maybe that's the reason why they look all of a sudden different in these last couple of games. But they do look different. You can't say they don't.
Mhm.
They're more upbeat. Their defensive switches are different. The ball is moving faster. Um,
They look different mainly because everybody's clamming on KD. KD has to be the focal point of not only the offense, but now he has to. I mean, like as far as shooting, but he has to be the playmaker. Like Kevin Durant bringing the ball up, he at top of the key. He's getting double team and swinging the ball out. So it's like he'll get his, but last few games he had to make sure Harris and these guys get open, and it
and that's
just
that's the difference between Kevin Durant and Giannis. That's the difference between Kevin Durant and LeBron. That's the difference between Trey Young and Kevin Durant. All those people I said can all score.
mhm,
What's the difference, Randy? They get their other teammates involved.
involved.
So KD, God bless, KD can give you 30. He can give you 30, maybe 10 boards, 3 assists, 2 assists, 4 assists. That's good. Is it better than 30, 14, and 14? Is it better than 30? I'm giving you Giannis numbers. I'll give
Mhm,
you Trey numbers, 20 and 14. Those are
right.
Trey numbers. You feel
Mhm,
me? So right now he's going to have to increase the ability to get others involved if he wants the Nets to at least stay above 500 in the East. Shout out to Jacques Vaughn, Kansas own, doing a tremendous job. Seems like the team has his ear. I don't
mhm.
know what the hell happened with Ime Udoka. Literally, they told me like tomorrow he'll be signed. Like that's how I felt. They was talking about this crap. Tomorrow he'll be signed. So it's a done deal. It's now a couple of days. Nothing. So I don't know if Ime's coming. There's been rumblings about Nets employees saying we don't want him here.
Right.
So who's to say Joe Tsai said, you know what, let's just stand pat and see what we do mid-season. Mess around. Udoka's not going nowhere. Where's he going?
Right. I mean, let's give Jock Vaughn a shot. I mean, I don't mind that. Let's see what he does. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, we can give him a shot, see what he does, give him a couple of games to get the full ear of the team. And like I said, I like what I've been seeing because obviously we watched the Dallas and Nets game when they were in Brooklyn. And
Mhm.
then I watched the game because that game was coached by Steve Nash. Then I watched the game with Brooklyn in Dallas. And I saw differences in the schemes on defense, which was interesting.
Like what? What were talk to me? Like I don't know what I'm doing. Talk to me. What were the differences between Nash and Jock Vaughn from the game in Brooklyn with Kyrie playing, and then without Kyrie playing in Dallas?
I'm glad you asked that. The
Well,
NBA
that's why
whispers.
we're here.
The NBA whispers here to break it down, baby. It's in the game, baby. That's why we're here. Listen, I saw immediately Kevin Durant guarding
Luca, right? You saw that, right?
Luca. The last
Yeah.
game he didn't guard Luca at all. This game there was minutes where Kevin Durant was guarding Luca.
And I felt that was by choice too. Not like Jock Vaughn told him to, yo, Katie, Katie was like, you know what? I'm guarding you all the way up top, 3-point line.
Whether it's him or not, right? So we're just Kevin Durant's always been Kevin Durant. So I don't know if he didn't feel comfortable going to Steve Nash and saying I got him,
Mm,
or now he feels comfortable going to Jacques Vaughn and saying I got him. Whatever the case may be, that's
right.
one of the main differences that I saw. Obviously, they lost like they were right in the game and they lost by free throw. Okay,
Yeah.
that's without Kyrie. With Kyrie in Brooklyn, just looked like It looks very, very different than the team that was in Dallas. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for anybody that's going to suggest or want to tell Denny Blanco that the Kyrie situation, Kyrie doing what he did on his social media, the Kyrie attention train didn't affect the Nets. If you want me to sit there and believe you, if that's what you're pitching, I won't believe you. Okay, they were affected. They were affected by the nonsense Kyrie was going through. Unfortunately, you could see it on the team, and obviously you can see the difference. But it's still early. We shall see going forward.
So as we are taping this on a Wednesday, two things before we move on from Brooklyn. For those who don't know, the things that Kyrie has to do in order to come back and play, which seems to many a little bit too much, are the following. He has to apologize / condemn the movie.
He did.
All right.
Online.
The 500,000 donation to the anti-hate causes, which
if they like it or they don't, he just gives it out.
Sensitivity training.
Yeah, you can't just be, going on your social media saying what you want. You gotta be sensitive about your stuff. You know what I mean?
Anti-Semitic training.
Back to the sensitivity.
Meet with the ADL Jewish leaders.
Yeah. You gotta meet with them so they can literally lean on you and tell you why what you did was terrible, and to watch your step.
And meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate understanding.
That's the final statement. That's the after everything's said and done, you sit down. Because the word on the street is, listen, Randy. The word on the street, what I heard in terms of the whispering,
what you been hearing, man? What you been hearing?
I heard Joe Tsai was hollering at Irving early.
Yeah, right, that's the rumor. Like he was texting and whatever, trying to reach out to him, but Kyrie was like, nah.
Left his boss on read. Think about that shit. You know what I mean? Like your boss is reaching out to find out, like, yo, I heard you did something. Yo, what's good? Like, talk to me. What's good? And you look at his phone like this. Come on, bro. Come on. Like, what are we doing here? All right, you got your millions. Cool. But you got a daddy. You got a daddy, which is Joe Tsai.
They can appeal all that. Kyrie, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of 6 things, they might just have him do 2 or 3. We'll see what happens. I think Kyrie will play again in the NBA. I think he will play with the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think he's getting traded. I'm not saying they're not thinking about it, but I just think right now at the current time, I think they'll hold on to him. And they said a minimum 5 games. So
minimum 5 games.
If we're still on that trajectory of 5, no less than 5, he should be back in LA against the Lakers or the Clippers, one of those 2 games. So let's see what happens. They do got a big game tonight against the Knicks at home in Brooklyn. So I know you. We're both looking forward to that.
Any tickets that fall through the cracks, holla at your boy. My ad is NBA_whisper. Denny Blanco, throw me some tickets.
They just blew out Minnesota, a team that we thought was going to be in the playoffs, which I think they still make it. But still, to have a 25, 30-point lead on those guys, no Gobert, I get it, but still.
I watched that game, and you know how I feel about D'Lo. They don't get a better point guard. They're not going nowhere in Minnesota.
So what do you expect from this Knicks-Brooklyn matchup? What do you
I expect it to be entertaining. I expect Julius Randle dropped 8 threes last game. I expect him to continue that. Shout out to all the Knicks fans who wanted to trade him. God bless to you. He's still here giving you work. RJ's starting to get a little bit better. And I want you to applaud me.
Applaud you?
I want you to applaud me.
For what?
He said, I'm not even going to do it. I need you to know why.
For what?
I've been telling you for about a year and some change now that the Knicks need to change their starting lineup.
And I agree. I ain't say you're wrong. I agree. But your man Tibbs, that's
your man. Say my man. Say my man.
Tibbs, your man, the microwave.
That's your man. That's not my man. That's your man. Steve Nash is my man.
Coach. He's my coach, but
he's your man, bro. And I told you your man needs to change his starting lineup and sit Evan. I told you that for a year.
Yeah.
Go through this year, you give him a chance again, and all of a sudden now you realize you're like, oh, you know what? And let's be clear, talking about watching differences, breaking it down, seeing the differences between Cam being a starting lineup and Evan being in a starting lineup. I'm sure there's information I can pull up.
And we also pointed out the more you play Obi and Randall together, because check this stat out.
Put me on.
And also giving Obi more minutes.
Put me on.
When Obi plays so far for this year, when Obi has played 20 or more minutes, they're 3-0. And the dynamic with him and Randall together on the court seems to work. Now, I know Mitchell's been out with injury. They got Hartenstein at the 5. They put Cam in for Evan. They're switching things up, which is about fucking time. Let's see how long this goes. But there are some things you're seeing that Tibbs is like, all right, maybe I should pull the reins back a little bit, make some changes. If it ain't working, don't go back to it. Evan could be a good piece off the bench, not starting with that roster. Cam Reddish is kind of the perfect fit right now. Plus, Grimes has been hurt too, so Cam got to produce now.
Hey, listen, you get Jalen, Cam, Randall, and you put anybody at the center, I'll take that. Or if you want to get nasty, if you want to put Jalen, RJ, Obi, Randall, motherfucking
Mitchell or Harden.
I'm with that. Unfortunately, it just seems as if Tibbs thinks Randall and Obi play the same position. I think Obi can play a 3. I think Randall's better at a 4 position. But that's just me. I think that, you could say, and they're two different types of 3s. If you want to say they're both 3 men, they're different types. He's, Randall can post a little bit more. Obi's more of a Kenyon Martin type of a forward who's going to, bring you out, uses athleticism, and obviously shooting better from 3. So we'll see. Shout out to, okay, so after all is said and done, I said you should applaud me. Applaud me. Yo, he gave me a golf jaw.
I gave you the Jim Nance CBS golf clap. Like,
yo, anytime that boy Roman Reigns says acknowledge me, he gets the acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge me.
My man been champion for 2 years in a row.
Yo, I said, yo, nobody's gonna be longer champion than Stone Cold. Nobody gonna be longer champion than
Hulk Hogan.
Nobody can be longer champion than The Rock. Nobody gonna be longer champion than John Cena.
Yeah.
Or Triple H.
Roman Reigns. It's funny you mentioned before we move on to the next topic. I think I texted you a few weeks ago. I said, who Obi reminds me of? But you just mentioned Kenyon Martin, and that wasn't the guy at first. But I think if Kobe, I think Obi is a hybrid. You could throw in Kenyon Martin. Obi's like a hybrid of Kenyon Martin,
who had a baby. Talk to me. Who had a baby?
And Shawn Marion.
Kenyon Martin, Shawn Marion had a baby. You get Obi. Yes, exactly.
And I know the original one with like a Morris Stoudemire when it first came out.
Yes.
If you look at it, athleticism, power forward, still is more on the perimeter and the outside, like Shawn Marion. You don't have to run a play for Obi. Just go out there, do your thing, run, bring some energy, get some dunks, get some buckets, and just go out there and play basketball. And that's how Kenyon Martin and Shawn Marion were. They went out there, did the thing, get 18 and 8, hit a couple jump shots. No plays ran. You ain't got to post up as much, even though you're a power forward. So that's the hybrid I have of Obi, like Shawn Marion and Kenyon Martin. What do you think?
No, I'm with that. Definitely. That's him in a T, in order for you to get confidence, in order for you to continue on a path, you need time. You need playing time. And you need playing time. You need playing time with the right players against the right competition. I just
Yeah.
thought about something. Put this down on the agenda today. Before we go, we have to talk about Steve Kerr and what he said about NBA players right now. I just remembered. Just remember to. We're going to talk about that before we go.
I mean, if you want to bring it up now, I'm not too sure what he said. So,
Even better, the NBA whisperer, me whispering and hearing
all
things.
right, put me on real quick.
They asked Steve Kerr, talking to him, and he's mentioned something about the players that are coming to the NBA aren't ready. We're doing more coaching that should have been coached, that should have been done in college. And I'm just like, duh.
Hmm.
You can't have it both ways. You can't have it where a kid can come out of right now. It's only 1 year, right? 1 year removed from college, coming to the league, and then be upset that he doesn't know how to drop step. Be upset that he doesn't know what a back screen is. Be upset that he doesn't know how to set a right screen. These are things you learn in college. And Steve Kerr also mentioned Tim Duncan and was not one other play he mentioned, but he mentioned Tim Duncan because Tim Duncan went all 4 years. And the Tim Duncan as a freshman wasn't the Tim Duncan as a senior, obviously. So when Tim Duncan comes into the NBA, he's ready to dominate. He's ready. But you have other players that, it took Kobe time, guys.
Yeah.
It took Kobe time. It took Kevin Garnett some time.
Hmm. It took a lot of people some time.
Le-
Giannis,
LeBron was right away.
Dirk, took Dirk some time. Giannis,
Took Dirk some time. I'm talking about guys that straight out of high school or 1 year college, straight into the league. What was their trajectory? How long before did they become an all-star, become all-world? It took time. The only person that literally in the last couple of years that you said was ready from rip was LeBron James. LeBron was way more ready than Kobe. But the concept is, if we're saying we want younger players in the league, we're gonna NBA coaches are gonna have to do some more work because they're not getting taught in high
mm,
school, in AAU, or in college. Well, how much more can again? Shout out to Kyrie Irving, 1 year in Duke, 9 games, broke his foot. They asked Coach Krzyzewski, "Yeah, is Kyrie coming back?" It's like, no, no, he's too damn good to come back. He doesn't
yeah,
need peak. Like, so you have phenoms, but then you have. It was interesting that Steve Kerr mentioned that because it's just like, yeah, you're gonna have to teach Kuminga how to spin move and Kuminga how to drop step and what offense is. You're gonna
right.
have to. So it was interesting that I remembered that at the time. Thank you for that.
I do got two more points. One thing I want to mention, I've been seeing on social, Laker Nation or some people above Laker Nation have been saying that, you know what, we're 2-8 now. Does it make sense to entertain trading AD or even entertaining trading LeBron? Do they start over? They don't want to trade those draft picks to get a Miles Turner or Buddy Hield. They don't want to. They want to hold on to that 2025, 27 pick. Um, Laker fans are not happy with Rob Pelinka and what the roster is looking like. I also want to point out Russell Westbrook has been playing a lot better off the bench. I know he's been getting attacked lately and everything, but we got to give props. And off the bench is more, in a good way, sporadic and energy. He's making threes now. Like it's like, all right, he's looking like a different player off the bench. But Denny Blanco, the NBA whisperer, if you're Rob Pelinka and you want to like improve this roster, are you saying, you know what, my hands are tied, I don't want to trade those picks, or do I entertain trading AD, or dare I say, entertain trading LeBron,
All right,
or none?
said a lot. I assume Dennis Schroeder's still hurt or something. I haven't seen him.
I,
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
He said I don't know.
I don't know.
So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning. Shout out to Russ. Russ wasn't anything personal. I just on this team, you're better coming off the bench. On this team, you may win 6 man of the year. Coming off the bench, playing defense,
Mm,
getting the second unit involved. And let's be clear, Manu Ginobili came off the bench too. I remember a lot of games him ending.
Yeah, but Manu wasn't an MVP, getting triple doubles and multiple time, 10-time All Star.
Hey, yeah, he wasn't. He was just doing that overseas.
Yeah, Manu was coming off the bench like from jump. Maybe like 1 or 2 years he started. After that, it was like off the bench.
No. Yeah, no, he was coming off the bench. I'm just telling you that usually people say coming off the bench, you're not going to finish the game. You're not going to get your minutes, which is false. You can get your minutes, 30 plus minutes, and actually finish the game coming off the bench. So it can be done, number one.
Right.
So, Westbrook is doing his thing. God bless him. Hope he continues it. It's all about the game. If he keeps it's in the game. That's what we talk about, right?
That's
If
right.
your game is legit, we're gonna big you up and give you props. If it's something that's not what we expect, we have to talk about it because we expect better from you, Russell. So it is what it is. That's one. Do you trade AD or LeBron? No.
Yo,
No, unless don't be surprised. LeBron says, I'm going back to Cleveland. This is ridiculous.
hold on. Before you start an AD, I think we're gonna get to it. I think I want to give you the perfect start. So I seen this tweet last night that Bleacher Report put out. They give you the mock trades and all that, whatever. So in writing, in print, it has this: a mock trade between the Lakers and the Knicks. So me, I see Knicks. Oh, let me see what they're talking about. Let me see what fantasy. How many guys? Half our roster is probably going to be traded in this deal. Let's see what happens. So the Knicks receive Anthony Davis. Okay, going to LA. RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, and 5 first-round picks. Yo, everybody was shitting on this trade. Like, yo, bro, what are you talking about? Stop.
It, it,
I'm like, what? I'm like, who? For Ant Davis and LeBron? I thought LeBron, somebody else in there,
yeah,
maybe. But
no,
if they ain't doing that for Spider, I'm gonna do it for AD.
no. We haven't seen AD. We haven't seen bubble AD since the bubble. So
let's get back down to earth. All right, AD. What do you do, man?
Listen, I don't think there's anything you can do. I don't know what strategy is. I mean, I'm looking at, like I said, I looked at the roster and I see. I mean, Kendrick Nunn has given him nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Beverly's there for a reason, obviously. What else we got? So Anthony Davis, LeBron. The first thing I told you, I said they have no shooters. They have guys. Shout out to Lonnie. He's doing his thing. Lonnie's doing what he's supposed to do. But they don't have standstill open shooters. They have streaky shooters, which is going to be a problem come playoff time. So what can they do is the question. They can try to get a little creative with their draft picks. But if they don't, they're going to finish 10th in the West.
Because, maybe they look at the Utah model. They look at, all right, Danny Ainge traded Spider and Gobert. Right? They could say, all right, we're going to semi-blow this up. What can I get for Ant Davis right now? Can I get multiple draft picks? Can I get some young talent? Can I get a sprinkle of veteran guys? Now LeBron is the end all be all. Like I don't see that happening, but I'd be very shocked that they even if I see even one rumor or LeBron that they're in talks. There's been somebody called about LeBron, I'd be shocked. But AD is like they could try to maximize the value while it's there. And I know he's older than Gobert and older than Donovan Mitchell, but it's like if Danny Ainge got that for those guys, I could probably get half of that for Ant Davis. Then it's like, what team is gonna bite? What team might need? What contending team might need an Ann Davis type player. And am I going to give up a lot for a guy who's for his career hasn't really been healthy like that? Now you tell
No,
now you telling me I'm trading for New Orleans Hornets and Davis? All right, I give you everything, but this ain't it. But to salvage a Lakers' future, every year they're like 3-10, 2-9, this and that. It's like, all right, what do we do? And I think that they're in a tough spot.
they're in a tough spot. They have nowhere to go. The roster's pretty much this is as constructed. God bless. They didn't bring back Melo. I mean, you know what? They need shooters, but they didn't bring back Melo. Like this would be confusing to me. Got
Yeah.
Ropolinka. He got an extension. And you know, Lakers are looking up in the standings, not down. We're gonna see
Mm.
what happens mid season. See where they are.
So we'll see what happens. Right now they're 2-8. So I don't know, man.
It's not looking good, Joe.
Not looking good. Before my last point, standings updated. I think we're in week 4. We start with the West. Number 1, Utah Jazz at 9-3. 2, Phoenix 7-3. Portland 7-3. Number 4, Denver 7-3. Number 5, Dallas 6-3. 6, Memphis 7-4. Clippers 7 at 6-5. New Orleans at 8, 5-5. San Antonio 5-6 at number 9, and number 10, Minnesota 5-6. So outside of that, Thunder, Warriors, Sacramento, Lakers, and the Rockets. The Warriors are 4-7 at 12 right now. Eastern Conference, number 1, Milwaukee 9-1. Number 2, Cavs 8-2. Boston 7-3. Atlanta 7-3. Toronto 6-5. Chicago 6-6. Number 7, Indiana 5-5. New York at 8, 5-5. Washington at 9 at 5-6. Philly number 10 at 5-6. Outside looking in are Brooklyn, Miami, Charlotte, Detroit, and Orlando.
I want to give a shout out to someone on Philly.
A shout out on Philly.
Shout out Joel Embiid.
What
Last
now?
3 years has been something else for you, man.
Wow, what now?
What now?
What now? Like,
Last 3 years for Joel Embiid has been nothing but a circus. If you think about what has happened since the Kawhi shot, that's as far since Eastern Conference final
semis.
semis. Thank you.
Game
Till
7 of all games. Game 7.
Think about where Joel Embiid is right now. Got a guy who didn't want to play, Ben Simmons. He leaves. Got a guy he's playing with, Tobias Harris, who it's not consistent. Doesn't show up in the big games. You get James Harden, who seems to not, he's playing average. He's not playing like the guy in Houston. He's playing average from what I see. Joel has been fighting through literally a bunch of injuries. Thumb, knee, ran into somebody, broke his face. Had to wear a mask. This is probably going to be another story of a strong MVP candidate every single year, wasting the primes of his years losing. I just want to say that. Shout out to you, Joel Embiid. I feel your pain. I really do.
So are you
And then I'll
advocating?
close it like this. Let me close it like this. 2 years, 3 years ago, you hear Joel Embiid laughing, making fun, jokes. He's, in the game, he's talking to fans, talking to people, smiling. I see none of that this year.
Okay, so I'll play advocate, which is I love to do that. So 2019, the shot, Game 7, Kawhi, you're out, right? You go in the bubble. You get out first round in the bubble. You come back in 2021. You're up 3-1 on Atlanta. You lose in Game 7. The whole Ben Simmons fiasco. Let me remind you, you were up 3 games to 1 against Atlanta. You were the number 1 seed, right? And then last year, Ben Simmons don't play the whole year. You make the playoffs, I believe. Who they lose to? They obviously they lost to somebody.
Yeah.
You get James Harden. He's not the Houston Rocket James Harden. So it's like, are you like advocating that Joel Embiid should be somewhere else, or like, I mean, like because they're trying to build around him. They got Tyrese Maxey, who we both like.
I like Maxey.
They gave James Harden there as the veteran guy.
That was a daddy move. Shout out to Daryl Morey.
You still get Tobias in the mix.
Tobias, like I said, inconsistent. I haven't seen him have a playoff break. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him have a big time game in a big time series ever.
And then they still got Doc Rivers as the head coach.
Go figure. One of the many coaches that like to lose 3-1 leads. Shout out to you, Doc. I mean,
the one thing I would like to mention, which is hypothetical. This is what we do here. Philly chose. If I'm wrong, correct me.
No, we could correct this. We always correct these. Sees where it goes. Go ahead.
Philly chose to keep Tobias Harris
for Jimmy Butler
and let go Jimmy Butler.
Facts.
So my question is, obviously, this is hindsight. We just never know. But Jimmy Butler has been to the NBA Finals since, to the Conference Finals since, I think twice.
Bubble.
Yeah, the Finals in the bubble. He went to last year's Conference Finals. Yeah, okay, yeah. 2021 was Milwaukee and Atlanta. So he's been further than Philly. If Philly keeps Jimmy Butler,
ask it.
Are we having a different conversation here?
Yes. Joel Embiid, you want to make your superstar happy. So let's start from the back and then go to the front. Joel loved Jimmy Butler. Loved Jimmy Butler. Because him and Jimmy was about that shit. You have a job to do. Come do your job. If you can't do your job, get the fuck out the way. He loved Jimmy. 2 peas in a pod. You keep them together. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Stockton, Malone, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton. You keep certain individuals together. Clint Capella, Trae Young. You just keep people together because they just have that language. They know they're speaking the same language. But unfortunately, whether it was money, whether it was fit, they decided to go with Tobias Harris. And we see the ramifications of that move.
Because what you also got thrown there too, they made a deal with Minnesota to get Jimmy Butler. They gave away a package of players. And then Jimmy's not even there for a whole year. Like, I think he was just there for that one season. That was it. So it's like you gave up people, you get Jimmy, you borrow him, and they let him walk, and you really don't get no compensation out of that.
That's why add that to the curious case of Joel Embiid. Add that to the curious case of Joel Embiid, because that right there closes. Like, it's just like you have a player that literally they love to play with each other, and they come from the same cloth of get it done or get lost, and you trade them.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
Yeah, because a mix of Embiid, Jimmy, and Ben Simmons. Obviously, Ben is healthy enough. Like, all right, I can fuck with that. And then you never know. Does James Harden come here if Jimmy's here? We'll never know. But I think if Jimmy's here from that 2019 point on, I think you're seeing. I think you're seeing Philly more advancing into the playoffs.
There are people online right now. Good.
And I'm saying like the success Jimmy has had in Miami. Obviously, I'm going to say Spo is a better coach than Doc Rivers. That's number one.
You ain't
So
got no pushback from me.
then, like we can say Joel Embiid is better than Bam Adebayo, but it's about the culture. It's about how you fit. It's the mix, the players you have around them. Like the dog, Jimmy's a dog, and that's what you got to surround Joel Embiid with. And again, I know it's early, but James Harden gonna be out for a month. We'll see what happens. He was doing all right before he got hurt, though. I keep it real.
Yeah, I mean, again,
He was doing all right.
I keep telling you. For me, I get spoiled. Once you show me what you can possibly do, I want to see it every night. Like it would be like, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it would be like Steph averaging 8 points. It'd be like Kevin Durant averaging 12.
Never in his life averaged 12. Never. He got 12 in the first quarter. Steph too.
That's why I'm saying, like, people are looking at me like, and even going back to Ben real quick. I got into a little tiff with somebody about Ben Simmons. And I told him, I said, I have no grace for Ben Simmons. They want me to give him grace. Like, he's hurt. I'm like, no. He left Philly uninjured. Physically. He came to Brooklyn hurt. You don't play for Brooklyn in the playoffs. You have time to heal. Get ready for the new season. New season comes.
He had surgery, though, remember? He had the back surgery.
Back surgery. So let me take a step back.
And the mental health issues.
I'm not even going to touch the mental. I'm just about physically.
Oh, physical, okay.
Physically. I told the guy I'm going back and forth with. I said, listen, if he's not physically ready, I don't want to see him. And he's like, I'm like, I don't want to stay away, get 100%, and then come back. This minute restriction, I got to play 5 minutes. I got to ramp up. I got to stretch my back. I don't need that. Kevin Durant doesn't need that. Kevin Durant needs a healthy Ben Simmons. So, no, I have no grace for him. We need him healthy. Stay away from the team. Get healthy. Come back and do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're getting paid to do. That's all. In terms of Ben Simmons. But yeah, to close out.
Now, I want to close out with this.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Dwight Howard. He signed overseas.
Oh yeah,
I think he should be in the NBA.
Please, let's talk about it, please.
Okay, Dwight Howard should be. I think he can be very valuable. This is not the Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard. We all get that, but still can be very valuable to a team who needs a big man, who needs height, rebounding, a presence, shot blocking, a la Brooklyn. And I don't understand why he's not in the league. I don't understand why Carmelo is not in the league. I know I'm pretty sure a team or teams out there need some shooters. He can still provide that. I think he was just averaging 12, 13, 14 off the bench with the Lakers, but those guys are not in the league right now. So, I mean, congrats to him, but I still feel like he should be. There's got to be a team that needs a Dwight Howard or needs a Carmelo, but they're not washed up that everybody seems to make them out to be. Can still be very effective, but apparently 30 teams don't think that way about Dwight or Carmelo.
All right, first and foremost, just to start Melo. Melo's a shooter, so he for me is way more confusing than Dwight Howard. He's a shooter. He can spread the floor. He did very well last year for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't understand. So that's one thing.
They both should be in Brooklyn.
Well, I didn't even touch Dwight. So let me, before you jump the ship, talk about both of them. No, Carmelo could be in Brooklyn very easily. Great point. My problem with Dwight Howard. The curious case of Dwight Howard. Dwight, I see you on Club Shay Shay. Shout out to Uncle Shannon Sharp. I see you in Club Shay Shay, and I see you saying, you felt disrespected because nobody from the NBA picked you up based on your past history. At one point, I can understand that, but then another point, I'm saying, well, one point I can understand that, and then I see DeAndre Jordan just rummaging around in the league, and I'm just like, if DeAndre Jordan's in the league, come on, right?
Ah.
DeAndre, I'm from the school of if you're in the league for more than 5 years, you have to add something new to your game. If you're not as dominant as a Dennis Rodman, where you can do one thing the best, Al Korver, one thing the best. That's the caveat. If you do one thing the best, you don't have to improve your game. You're the best in that one thing. But if you're not the best rebounder, which at one point you were, but that was affected based on age, right? So you're not the best rebounder. So what do you do best? Do you defend? Can you shoot a 10-footer? Can you shoot free throws over 70%? Can you shoot a three? You can't do none of those things. So I'm a little confused. So besides defense, because again, you're not the best defensive center in the league, are you? No. You're not the best rebounder in the league, are you? No. Who's the best rebounder in the league? Probably Giannis.
Jokic.
Who leads the league in rebounding?
You looking it up?
Enter.
Who?
Robert Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Robert Gobert. I'm just throwing.
Who is Roddy Gobert?
I'm making fun of his name. The Frenchman.
Rudy Gobert.
13 boards.
Okay.
So you're not leading the league in rebounding.
At one point in time, Dwight was doing 14, 15 a game.
100%. But he's 10 years removed from that. So I say all that to say is, Guy, you didn't improve any of your part of your game. Let me put you, Dwight. Let me put you right next to Brook Lopez. You know who Brook Lopez is, right, Randy?
Mm-hmm.
Brook Lopez used to play on the Nets. He was a number one option in the post every game, averaging 20 from the post. They said, we don't need you anymore. It's a new game. The game is guard related. We don't need post. You don't have the game like Joel Embiid, and Joel Embiid threes and shoot. Robin couldn't shoot mid-range. Robin couldn't shoot threes. Guess what he can do now? Guess what he has now?
A 3-point shot.
He has a 3-point shot and a ring.
Oh, yeah. And Dwight got a ring too.
God bless. Bubble. God bless. What I'm saying is in reference to him being still in the league. He can go to China and still do what he's doing right now in China. God bless. In the NBA, he can't do what he's doing. He's null and void. He's useless in the NBA right now, based on what they need. These teams need to be provided. Like I said, I can see Jordan, the argument for like a DeAndre Jordan and certain people in the league currently right now. But think about the centers in the league right now. Think about them. Joker. Embiid. Who else?
In general?
Just in general. Bam Bam.
Bam. Go
Bam Adebayo. Brook Lopez. These are all guys that literally can shoot from 3 if they want, or mid-range.
Miles Turner.
Again. Mid-range, 3. The list.
Andre Ayton.
Andre Ayton shooting 3s now.
Sabonis
shoots 3s. Dwight. Andre Ayton wasn't shooting 3s last year or the year before. I saw a 3 the other day. I was like, what the?
Mm-hmm.
I said, go ahead.
Oh, you're big Vooch.
Don't get me started of Chicago Vucevic. My God. My God. But the point is, you see what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
The big man has evolved. You haven't. Shout out to Roy Hibbert.
Oh boy, Roy Hibbert. Wow, that's a throwback.
Boys and girls, Roy Hibbert was one of the better centers at maybe 1 or 2 years. For 1 or 2 years, maybe. Was one of the
Yeah,
better
but
centers in the
but
league.
but Dwight can go to Brooklyn tomorrow and not. They don't need him to shoot a fucking three. Yo, go there, play D, rebound, block shot, be a presence.
I agree. Because I was the first. Yeah, you're right. I'm the one that's saying that Brooklyn needs beef. So depending on the team, Brooklyn's one. That's an example. Yes, he can come to Brooklyn. But majority of the teams, bro, we need you to shoot. You can't shoot. We need you to make free throws. You can't make free throws. Yes, you can rebound.
Yeah.
But after you're rebounding on this team, we need more than rebounding. You know what I'm saying? So he has to go to a perfect team. Shout out to China. They threw him the bag. He's out in China. We'll see how long he's out there.
Yeah. He'll probably be there for a couple months, get a couple looks, and he'll be back in the league before playoff time.
We shall see, because there's definitely going to be injuries. There's definitely going to be people come mid-season that's going to be like, you know what, maybe we need somebody.
Big advocate for Carmelo too. Hopefully he
shout out to Melo. I think Melo shouldn't be playing against his son and beating him every day. He should be playing against NBA players.
Yeah,
it's good for his son though.
On a contender as well. On a contender.
Yeah, man. Listen, I really want Melo to get a ring. I really do. So maybe Golden State. Maybe shout out to Steve Kerr. Maybe. Well, no, that's not gonna work because Melo doesn't play
the
D.
Warriors.
Yeah, Melo doesn't play D, so that's not gonna work. Shit.
I mean, listen. Hear me out.
Yeah, I'll listen, but I don't think it's gonna work. Golden
Last
State.
point.
Yeah.
Phoenix has not brought back Jay Crowder.
They sat him.
They lost. I think Cam Johnson to an injury.
Cam's hurt. Maybe in Phoenix. Maybe
Phoenix. Carmelo.
Maybe. Yeah, the injuries and maybe because they're gonna need help with scoring because let's be clear, Book can't score 50 every night, and then CP3 looks like he's injured too, so Book can't score 50 every night. They need scoring, and that's not a scoring roster. Shout out to Jay Crowder. Unfortunately, I don't know why no one likes you. I really don't. Like, you're serviceable. You're a 3-and-D guy. You're a 3-and-D guy. Hit the three, play defense. Shit. LA could use you, but whatever. LA could use you, but whatever.
And Phoenix can use Carmelo, but we'll see what happens with that.
Facts.
Denny Blanco. You can find Denny Blanco on both IG and Twitter at NBA Whisperer. Find myself, Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, the letter JCRUZ on both IG and Twitter. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, ballislife.com. Also, youtube.com/ballislife podcast network. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love to the program. We greatly appreciate your support out there. It's in the game. Thank you for all the people who've kind of got on me for the retro room. The latest retro room is up. Part 2 of our all-time fives from every NBA franchise. They got on me about the Bulls and
don't care
why Rodman and not Artis Gilmore and Horace Grant and all that stuff. But the bottom line is we just picked our 5. I'm not saying it's the all-time 5. This is our personal favorites, which is why the show I think is pretty cool. Part 3 coming up soon with Dallas, Detroit, and Denver. So go ahead, check it out. It's on Ball is Life Podcast Network on YouTube. Also on wherever you get your podcast. So Denny Blanco, Randy Cruz, it's in the game. Ball is Life. We out.
Ball is Life, you heard?
Yes, sir.